Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Vern's Misadventures. Hey, today we're gonna get back on the Blueberry iMac. We're gonna replace the speakers with some that I got from Amazon, and we're also going to see what we might do about some of these cracks in the inner structure. So, crackles and cracks be gone! Let's do it! Cool. Alright, at this point, let's see, kind of spin them over here, get the weight off the front. There we go. Just let that get kind of unhooked. Alright, bottom comes off. Somehow or another, these little plastic guys come off of there. Maybe this gets in there a little better. That's all we wanted. Okay, there she goes. She's off of there. So with that, we can take this off. Hope it unscrewed and didn't just break. Alright. There she comes. Chunk's falling. Okay. That should just come off. Yeah. So we got more of these little covers right here. Get in there. There we go. As I understand it, we take these two screws out, and the ones around the side we can take off the cover. Alright. Alright. Let's go ahead and stand it up again. Gently. Okay. I mean, it moves. Can't quite come off of there, but it moves. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. You just have to not be afraid to break it. Apparently. Oh boy. I am not digging this. See, this is where bad things start to happen. Man. No. Alright. Good God. I think I'm going to wish I'd never done this. And so, this is why you don't see the Blueberry iMac on the channel anymore. Alright, let's... Alright. That's not too cool. Hey, there it goes. Alright, so, we got this piece off. It's free! Alright, what we're going to have to do next, probably before we can even mess with those speakers, is we're going to have to stabilize this thing. Okay, so we got this piece back. That's a good thing. It's not. Okay. Close one here. Let's see if I can get it back together again. 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, good. Loose it up. I don't know if I'll be able to get the tape off. Sand it off if we have to. Okay. A few more pieces here. So, what I want to do now is mix up some JB Weld. We'll get it right up in here. Kind of help hold this together. Then, once that's in place, we can kind of glue this back on. So at this point, it's a couple days later during the weekend again, and I decided what I need to do is I need to take this thing apart so that I can go out and sand it and paint it. And I thought, well, anything that's low-hanging fruit that can easily come off of here, where you just take it out of the equation, we ought to just do that. So I decided I would go ahead and remove the RAM and the drives out of the machine. Using the pick to work back and forth to get that cable off of there. I found that to be the most effective way to avoid ripping the cable up. By pulling on the cable, you can cause a lot of damage. Just kind of walk it out of there. Each end of the cable on the connector, it seems to work quite well. Alright, drives are out. Well, the drive caddy's out. There goes the RAM. So now I'll remove the drives from the caddy. There we go. The machine sits on the caddy when the bottom's not together, so I thought I'd put it back together so it could sit upright, so it's supposed to without causing damage to the motherboard or the front of the case. I got a little bit of the JB Weld on the plastic parts that are going to show later, so I took some time to sand it off and then just kept stepping up to ever more fine sandpaper to remove the scratches from the previous step. Now we're getting ready to mask it all off so that we can go out and sand and paint. Alright y'all, so I took it outside and I sanded and I sanded and I sanded and I sanded. It looked like I had some pinholes, so I put a couple of coats of primer on it. I'm hoping that when I come back again to sand it again later, that the primer will have filled up some of the pinholes, if not all of them. So, while we were waiting for the primer to dry, I thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and see what we could do with this DVD player. It didn't seem to want to eject discs, so I thought I would open it up and see what was going on inside. So the first step in that action is to go ahead and get the mount off of there. And that's held on by 4 screws. There we go. Important to note, there's an arrow on the mount. Point that towards the slot. And the mount goes onto the opposite side of where the label is. There's the label. I'm sure I pointed that out for my own benefit so that I would, if in case I forgot how it went back together, I could easily look at my video and see how it goes. But it might help someone else too. Alright, so there's 2 little bitty screws, 1 in each corner here. Then there's a rear adapter on there, so the screws got to come out to fit that. Look at that broken belt. So this is the CD-ROM player that come out of the graphite iMac. It had issues as well, but look at there, the belt's good. We'll just put that in the DVD player. There we go. I thought I'd bust out the old silicone grease, lubricate any pivot points or sliding mechanisms that might be involved in here that I could get to. It's also lubed up the gears for the eject mechanism right there. So I figured I'd just put a little bit of grease on anything that either any moving parts, you know, where I could get to them. All right, back together she goes. There we go. The adapter board back on. So that's ready to go back together whenever iMac's ready for it. So, after letting it dry overnight, I took it back out to the yard and sanded on it again the next day. I was going to block it out. I was going to try to make it oh so lovely perfect. And then I realized about halfway through this that, you know, I really don't need it to be perfect. I really don't need to waste my time trying to make it perfect. Because once you put that front panel on, it's kind of a, I don't want to say milky, but it's not clear. It's certainly not crystal clear. So as long as you have a solid color under it, with no major holes or gaps or anything that's going to show up, you know, underneath the front cover, that's all you need. You don't need it to be show quality as if you were finishing a car or something. Now once I got over that, I went ahead and busted out the rougher grit sandpaper and started just kind of trying to smooth it as best I could. So I had decided I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to be putting Bondo on it and spending 3 or 4 more days of sanding, and no, we're just going to make this as smooth as we can. Now I had put a bunch of JB Weld in that lower part there, right there. So I figured I'd get that out of there to keep the right shape going. So basically just kind of got it smoothed out best I could. The primer stayed in the void where the pinholes were and whatnot. So I think a couple coats of primer helped us out. Here goes our metallic silver paint that I got. Now I thought it was going to be metal flake silver paint. But no, it just kind of looks like silver metal. So Lesson learned there, right? Alright, so there's a slim chance of rain today. I went ahead and took the computer back inside where it would be safe. Then, look at here, I forgot to do these covers for the screws that hold the pretty parts on. At any rate, I figured I'd go ahead and shoot some color on them real quick, just so we got some color on them. A speaker with wires on it, and a whole bunch of snot. So let's just let that cool off and let it do its thing. We'll get cracking on the other one. There we are. Okay. That goes like so, that goes like so. Oh, I see. Well, there's where I went wrong with the other one. That's one of the places I went wrong, put it that way. Alright, what do we got here? Got a good one? Yeah, we got a good one. Alright. So we put this about like so. Yeah. And the other, let's see, is that going to work? I hope it does. Let's just see. Will it work? We're going to have to do some more cutting on it. Dang it, we're going to have to do some more cutting. Which was not what I wanted to do. So, I broke my cutters on the other one. So we won't use those cutters on this. We'll use these. They're a little more durable, apparently. Alright, so we cut that loose. Alright, cool. So let's see, does it fit now? It does. Awesome. It doesn't rattle or anything. Let's see. Oh, the speaker gets in the way of the shank here, I guess. So, since that's not going to work, I think I see what the issue is. There's a rib up here. Let's get rid of this rib. So let's see without that rib there if it fits any better. That's not there. That's not here. That's not there. Yeah, that thing's mounted. Alright. Let's get the wires. Alright. So then we strip. Alright, and we twist. Twist. Okay. Let's see, the red one's going to go over here. So that will go like so. Put some solder on that. A little bit of dab on the little tip. Yeah, look at that. It actually works. This other one right about there. Like so. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And let me see here. Just put a bead all along the edge there. See if we can let that cool a little bit, and then we can let go of it. We gotta plug this hole like we did on the last one. So we'll just kind of start going around the edge there with the old glue. Yeah, we got us a deal there. It's a new day. We can mount the speakers we built. They just kind of clip underneath there. There's a little barb on there, and you just got to get it past a certain point and it'll kind of lock in there. Of course, if it helps if you didn't fill the area with JB Weld, but we got through. One side didn't fit all that well, as I recall. I had to come back and mess with it some more and then refit it again later. But alright, so this was a wrestling match right here. I fought and fought and fought to get that blue cover back on. Finally figured out, okay, I think I left a little bit of a gap between what I'm calling the gusset, the little clearish plastic piece that backs up the front panel that holds the CRT. So what I had to do, and I had to file it to open the gap up a little bit more so we can get those tabs in there. Once you finally get the tabs to drop in the slots, then you could eventually get the thing in. But as you can see, as I was wrestling with it, I messed up our paint job. Alright, so I wanted to touch up this paint here, and to do that I've got to get this apart. Alright, she's off of there. My plan is simply, rather than take it all back apart, mask it all up again and all this, rather than do all that, which would probably result in a repeat of scratching it all to pieces, scratching it all up, right? I'm going to take this piece of window insulation. It's just kind of a foam. Seems like similar material to what you'd find one of those foam brushes. Now, if I had a foam brush, I would just use that. But I don't have any handy access to that at this point. So I'll just use this. I'm going to put some masking tape along here so we can get that all touched up. Then you won't have the dark spots showing through the panel when we put it back on. It should look a lot nicer. So let's shut it down. So the next thing I'll do here is I'll get something I can spray some paint into to use as our paint bucket. Use this water bottle, I guess. Alright, so I'll just dry the water out of the bottom of this, and then I'll just spray some paint in there, and we'll just basically just kind of dip and dab, huh? Dip and dab. Alright, well, I have dispensed some paint into this. Let's see how this works out for us. Hopefully it works out well. Oh no, it did not work out well. Oh, this is awful. Well, I gotta be honest, that could have gone better. So mental note, squeeze that out a little bit before you dab it on there next time. Don't dab so dang hard. Light dabs. Light dabs. Oh, it's running again. It seemed like a good plan on paper. So I think we just let it dry. I don't have any major runs. Alright. You know what? It cleaned up okay. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so update. While I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I can't leave anything alone, right? So I started installing Panther. So I guess after Panther finishes installing, we'll put the front back on. And by the way, the DVD player does work because it's loading it off of the DVD player that we prepared. So that's good news, huh? Okay, Panther is installed, and I'm now installing macOS 9.2 inside of Panther, so that we'll have access to the classic environment. And so that'll be done here in a little bit, I guess. It says less than a minute, but I don't think that's true. Alright, it says it's done. We'll just close this. And close that. Let's see what we got going here. Okay, here we go. Maybe it goes on a little better and easier now. Yeah, it does. Huh. I'm getting everybody's way about 50 times. Maybe. I think that's about as good as old busted up iMac gets. Oh, that looks so much better. It was worth the work we did to touch it up. I guess that's as good as that gets. Yeah. Alright. Well, I guess that's in place, more or less. Alright, well, this project is going on its, third, fourth week, somewhere in there? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But at any rate, here's where we are. I received last night in the mail a replacement button and spring. So maybe, just maybe, we can put this on there, and then we can put the bottom back on and actually call this little project done. So the keyboard and mouse are disconnected, but it is still plugged in. So okay. Kind of centered up there. Kind of just put it straight in there. Maybe it won't break. Maybe. Oh my goodness, I think we did it, y'all. I think we did it. Let's see. Oh, it does work. Awesome. Look at that. All fixed up. Like Vern's stupidity never even happened or something. Alright, that done. Oh, gently, gently. Okay. Spin it around like so. Well, it came with a new button. Should we put the new button on? I don't think so. This one's fine. If it was scratched or damaged in any way, I would have replaced it, but it doesn't seem to be. So there's that. Alright, here we go. There's one. Yep. There's two. We have these other two screws that we decided we were going to put in here, even if they're not the right screws. They do thread in. And I guess they help hold the bottom on. And so we'll call that a good thing. We have this piece. Now this covers up over here. And this actually came from the graphite. Yeah. Because the Blueberry never had one when I owned it. Yeah. How do we do this? Oh, there it is. Easy. Hot diggity, look at that. It's like the real thing. Okay, let's flip it back up on its feet here. There it goes. Hot diggity. You can turn it on and off with the bottom in place. Like a real computer. Like a real iMac G3. Let's get this through here. Oh, look at that. The mouse works. Okay. Yeah, this is Panther. I have Tiger on another partition. So we open iTunes. Yeah, sure enough. As You Were by Trek Tribe. Play. Well, y'all, I hope you got something out of watching this crazy video with me. If nothing else, maybe you learned what not to do. But we have successfully taken a cracked iMac that had pieces falling off of it every time it moved. We managed to break it worse and then patch it back together. Make it look pretty dang decent, if you ask me. So, it's been kind of a roller coaster doing this project. It's been a lot of fun too. So, hey, if you enjoyed this crazy content, you want to see more of it, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. And with that, I think we're going to close out here. We'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all take care.